Hello guys, I'm Cardboard Rhino and welcome to one more Play It Right. Today we're gonna go into Volfyirion, which is a two-player card game by Tabula Games that is gonna be on Kickstarter. Volfyirion is a competitive and fast-paced deck builder set in the world of Mystia 60 years before the events of the main game. Each player represents one of the two ancient houses of Mystia, fighting over complete dominion over the dreadful dragon Volfyirion. The goal is to conquer the other by destroying all enemy cities. This is done by gaining points which can be spent to deploy strategic assets and to attack. The players gain resources and take actions by playing cards from their personal decks, which are upgraded with additional cards during the course of the game. So each player has a starting deck called the House deck, consisting of 10 command cards, 8 Prospector, 1 Captain and 1 Diviner. Then we have the Asset deck with all the command, troop and building cards, and there's also the Wonder deck containing the Wonder cards. From the Asset deck, you draw the top 5 cards and place them face up in a row to form the Asset row. Here you place the Volfyrion's Lair card and put the Volfyirion token on it and the Wonder deck next to it. You draw wonders until you reveal 2 that cost less than or equal to 3 battle points, and you place them on the spaces of the Volfyrion's Lair card face up. Each player has 3 city cards with defense strength of 8, 9 and 10, and these cards form the city's area, which they need to defend, and they need to manage to destroy all the enemy's cities in order to win the game. On the bottom left of each city, there is a slot for troop cards, which increase the city's defense, and on the bottom right, a slot for building cards that give you some command or battle points permanently. Between the two players' cities areas, there is each player's playing area and their respective discard piles. Let's see what you actually do in your turn. Each player's turn has 3 phases to it, and when these are done, then it's the other player's turn. So you have the draw phase, the main phase, and the end of a turn phase. In the draw phase, you draw 5 cards from your house deck. After a couple of turns, your house deck will run out of cards, so at that point or at any point that this happens, you shuffle back your discard pile into a new house deck, provided that it still contains cards, and you draw the cards you need. In the main phase, you can perform any of the available 10 actions in any order and as many times as you like, as long as you can afford to do so. Let's see one by one the actions you can do. The first and most basic one is that you can play cards from your hand. You just put a card down to your playing area and you gain all points depicted in the card's main ability, like command points, battle points, and knowledge points. When performing this action, you may also assign building and troop cards to your city's slots. The points you can use in general are from the cards that you put down on your playing area and from every card in play from previous turns in both the playing area and the city's area, such as Wonder and Building cards. The order in which you play cards and trigger effects matters, so you'll need to think about the order of things. Another action is to use command points to acquire an asset card. To do that, you must pay the amount of command points from your in-play cards depicted on the card's cost icon. When you get it, you place it directly onto your discard pile deck. Also, you can use command points to redeploy a troop, so you pay the cost of an in-play troop card to assign it to another city you own. Then you can also use battle points to acquire a wonder card. This works the same way as the asset cards. You pay the cost, in this case battle points, and you take one of the open wonder cards on Volfyrion's Lair and you place it onto your discard pile deck. Another action you can do is to use your battle points to attack a city. An attack is successful if the amount of battle points spent is at least equal to the city defense value plus the defense of a stationed troop if present. When you are successful against an enemy city protected by a troop card, that troop card is removed from the game as it sacrifices itself to guard the city. If no troop is stationed in the attacked city, you turn the city card face down and you remove from the game any building card on it if present. Then another action is to use knowledge points to seal or unseal a wonder card in either of the playing areas. For example, you can pay the cost of this wonder card of your opponent and seal it, which will prevent them from using it until they pay the cost again to unseal it. You can also use your knowledge points to replace an asset card in the asset row. You pay 2 knowledge points and replace a card in the asset row with the top card of the asset deck. Another action is to pay 8 knowledge points to move the Volfyirion token. The dragon can only perform 2 kinds of movements. If the Volfyirion token is on the Volfyrion's lair card, you may move it on an enemy city. If it is on one of your own cities, you can move it back onto the Volfyrion's lair. If you have enough points, you can perform both movements in the same turn. If the opponent is unable to move Volfyirion away from their city by the end of their next turn, that city gets destroyed by the dragon and any building and troop on that city card are removed from the game altogether. You can also activate a card's secondary ability. The secondary ability offers you additional bonuses during the play a card action, and it only can be triggered once during a turn. Some cards display a set of icons called the synergy chain. In order to trigger such effect, you need to check if there are other cards which match the color requirements of the minor house's colors on the cards in both playing and cities areas. If the requirements are met, you gain all the depicted bonuses. For example, the synergy chain is triggered when in the playing area or in the cities area there is at least 1 blue and 1 red card. In that case, the player gained 2 knowledge points. Some cards like the Wonders offer a remove option. During the main phase, you may decide to remove such cards from the game in order to gain the depicted bonus. You still gain the main ability bonus before the card gets removed this way. As an extra action, once per game, one of the players may be able to use battle points to defeat Volfyirion, which requires 16 battle points. In that case, you immediately remove from the game the Volfyirion token and gain the Wonders on its lair card if there are any left. After that, you also claim the Volfyrion's lair card as a new city. You take the lair and place it in your city's area. Also, owning the lair provides you 4 battle points during the main phase. When the lair is claimed, players can no longer acquire wonder cards or move Volfyirion. So these were all the actions you can do in the main phase. When you're done performing actions, then we move to the end of a turn phase. You discard every card in the playing area, except the wonder cards, onto the discard pile. You also discard all unplayed cards from your hand, and all unspent points are lost. If the Volfyirion token is on one of your cities, you turn that city card face down, and any building card and any troop card on top of it are also removed from the game. You then move the Volfyirion token back to its lair card and refill empty spaces both in the asset row and on Volfyrion's lair card with new cards. And then it's the opponent's turn. And that was Volfyirion. It's very fast-paced and intense. It takes about half an hour to play, and you need to build your deck wisely and strategize over your hand management and choosing your actions in the main phase. And the art is, of course, gorgeous, like in the Mysthia game. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments, and I hope you enjoy the game.